Hey guys, and welcome to another Mirror Cup Twilight Cup PvP video, and in this video we are going through my local Twilight Cup tournament. So we'll get straight into it. In this tournament I brought in Toxicroak, Golbat, Venusaur, Azumarill, Tyranitar, and my little joy at the end, Mr. Mime. So Mr. Mime, I looked at him the day before the tournament and I was like, I want this guy on my team. So he's a confusion user, like Venomoth, like Gardevoir, but he's a little different in the fact that he not only beats Toxicroak, but he also beats the main Toxicroak counters. So he beats up Golbat, he beats up Venomoth, he beats up Frostlass and the 2 shield, and so it's really interesting situation. So I kind of built a lot of my lines around Mr. Mime. Like, I think I brought him in every battle actually, and so let's just get into those battles, speaking of. And first opponent was Jim2504. He has Nidoqueen, Wigglytuff, Golbat, Umbreon, Frostlass, and Alolan Muck. So there is some things for Mr. Mime to worry about. Alolan Muck, Umbreon, and Wigglytuff. He does beat Nidoqueen, Golbat, and he beats Frostlass in the 2 shield scenario. So I'm going to lead with him because I think he's going to be trying to counter the Toxicroak as opposed to leading with something that might be weak like the Dark types. So we'll lead with Mr. Mime, and then to sort of balance it out we're going to bring Toxicroak for the Dark types, and we're going to bring Azumarill as the safe switch. So there's nothing that he's got that, you know, it's going to be the end of the world if I switch to Azumarill and get switch locked. So yeah, let's just get into those battles. And he brings in Nidoqueen up against Mr. Mime, so we do win this matchup. So we're going to confusion away. He's probably trying to suss the situation, see what Mr. Mime's actually doing, and he gets off a charge move here, presumably an Earth Power, but I'm not too sure. But at any rate, I'm going to shield Stone Edge, because I know that Mr. Mime's going to be able to feint down Nidoqueen, and then we get a charge move to get off onto the next Pokemon. We're going to go for the Shadow Ball, hoping that it might be like a Golbat, but he does bring in Wigglytuff, so, you know, not the greatest move in the world, but he does decide to shield there. So we switch out into, actually we tried to switch out, but one charm and we were gone. It's probably better because we're not switch locked and there was no real reason to save Mr. Mime. So we switch into Azumarill, and we're going to be going for that, or actually no, we're going for the Ice Beam to try and burn the shield, make it blink that it's player off. Actually, Ice Beam also does good damage, so, you know, it is what it is. And we're going to go for another Ice Beam. He's going to be able to get a charge move off here, but if we shield that charge move, we're going to be able to get this move off and should finish off the Wigglytuff. Now this Ice Beam might not do it, but it would definitely put him close if it doesn't. And he actually decides to burn the shield there, so we switch into Toxicroak here, which, I mean, it worked out, so yeah. And he brings in Frostlass in the back, so not the best situation we've found ourselves in. We're going to be going for this Sludge Bomb though, and there's no more shields. This will be a nice little hit. Not very effective, but Frostlass is already down past half health. He's getting off a charge move here, probably the right play, because, I mean, he's very low, so if he got off a charge move, he wouldn't be in a great situation. And unfortunately for him, we're able to get that Ice Beam off just before he actually gets his own. So he had a charge move ready, but that's how it goes, I suppose. And so we're going to use the exact same trio in this next battle, so we'll just hop straight into it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he leads with Nidoqueen again. So we've got that lead, expecting a switch out here, thinking that he's not going to want a repeat of the previous battle, but it looks like he's staying in. Maybe he's going to charge up the energy. Okay, well he's stayed in, and he's getting off this charge move, and he will feint down after he gets off the Stone Edge. And down he goes, and now we're actually going to go for the Psybeam this time. Shadow Ball's better because Shadow Ball costs very slightly less energy, although it's not like Mr. Mime's going to be able to get to a second charge move anyway. So at any rate, Mr. Mime goes down, and now we've got switch advantage. We're probably going to bring in a Azumarill. Actually, decide to bring in Toxicroak. So I guess we're going to be able to shield up the charge move, but the charms do so much damage to Toxicroak because Toxicroak is pretty squishy. He's not really made for this, but that one Mud Bomb does send him away. He decides to not shield, and now he just has Golbat. So we decided to bring in a Azumarill. We're not in a great situation because Golbat is going to be doing these super effective Poison Fangs. We've got 1 shield and he has 2 shields. And we're not the quickest to charge up, and he's going to be able to get to the Poison Fangs faster than we can get to these Ice Beams. So we burn 1 shield there. He's getting off another Poison Fang. And so we're going to let this one come through and we'll shield the next one. There's no real reason to shield or not shield specific ones. Getting off this Ice Beam, and it will probably burn his second shield. It does do that, and he's going to finish this off with this Poison Fang, although actually no, we're deciding to shield here. Maybe we're just really hoping to get to that Ice Beam, but unfortunately he had the energy there to get that Poison Fang, and so down we go there, and we've just got Toxicroak coming in to do not a whole lot. Tried to get that Mud Bomb off, and we actually got to the Sludge Bomb. So if we just under-tapped and got that Sludge Bomb off, this game might have gone different, might have won that game, and so, you know, I should probably pay more attention to that sort of stuff. So in this third battle, we're actually going to switch the lead to Toxicroak. Same three, we're just going Toxicroak lead, trying to catch a Dark type. And he brings in Wigglytuff. So this is actually an alright situation for us, not the worst thing. So we're going to be going for those Mud Bombs because they're spammy, they're quick, and that's the same thing twice. So I'll say it again, it comes a lot. So he decides to shield the Mud Bomb, and then we switch into a Azumarill. We'll see what he decides to do here, if he goes for the charge move, and he does decide to go for the charge move instead of switching out. So maybe he doesn't have anything like a super hard Azumarill counter. He doesn't really have anything that's a really hard Azumarill counter, but he lets that Ice Beam go through, and he brings in Nidoqueen. So we're going to be going for this Ice Beam to maybe burn a shield if he decides to. Not too sure how much damage it is actually going to do. And he decides to shield, so he's got no shields, we've got 2 shields, and we've got, you know, kind of switch advantage. Probably going to bring in Mr. Mime here, because we do have both shields, and in the lead matchup, Mr. Mime beats Nidoqueen. And so we're just going to be able to shield this first move, and even if he gets to another move, we shield up, and then Nidoqueen is gone. And he's not able to get to another move. We have a charge move here, so he brings in Golbat, so we're going to go for the Shadow Ball, which will do some really nice damage. And then switch into Toxicroak, just to actually try to switch into Toxicroak. Actually, no. Okay, I was thinking, okay, switch. But then I was like, no, Mr. Mime, Confusions, these are going to do really well. So GG's Jim, and let's move on to the next opponent. So round 2, we're up against Colour 44. He's packing Golbat, Venomoth, Tyranitar, Azumarill, Nidoking, and Toxicroak. So he's got Golbat and Venomoth, which are both weak to Mr. Mime. I think Mr. Mime beats Nidoking, I'm not too certain on that, and Mr. Mime beats Toxicroak. Tyranitar is definitely a wall to Mr. Mime, but I don't think he's going to lead with it. And he's got Azumarill there, which isn't great for Mr. Mime either. Azumarill does beat Mr. Mime, but we're going to take the risk, leading with Mr. Mime, with Toxicroak and Azumarill in the back again. So that the same 3 that we've actually used, we've used the whole way through so far, and we are able to catch the Venomoth. So he's deciding to stay in here. In the tournament, I don't think he quite realised the situation that he was in with the Mr. Mime vs Venomoth. Didn't know that it was Fairy type maybe, and then he gets off this Poison Fang, which will do a whole lot of damage, but we decided to shield that. And he switches into a Azumarill here, and I didn't really do my research on Mr. Mime like beforehand. Again, I just powered him up the day before, so I wasn't sure which charge move to use. Shadow Ball definitely would have been the better pick there, just because it is slightly lower energy again. We switch into a Azumarill for the mirror match though, and we do not shield the Ice Beam, so we don't fall for the bait, which is fantastic. It gives us a little bit of extra footing. Going for this Play Rough, I think I was trying to pretend that I was doing an Ice Beam there, doing the little quick circles, just in case, you know. Want to play a trick if you can. And then he goes for the Ice Beam again, which we don't shield again, so this is going fantastic for us. And I do believe that he does have Ice Beam Play Rough, so it's not like he's got Ice Beam Hydro Pump and he's just doing the best he can. So yeah, we get up another Play Rough, and he decides to shield up. So we still have 1 shield, and we do decide to use it here, presuming this is going to be a Play Rough, which it is. So we did really well with picking the shield baits there. And then we're going to get a few extra bubbles in just to charge us some extra energy, and make sure that he cannot get a charge move off as we're getting off this Play Rough, which sends Azumarill away, and he brings in Venomoth. So we try to switch into Mr. Mime because 1 confusion and bam, he's gone. And he's got Toxicroak in the back, so this is a fantastic situation. We didn't need to, or we tried to use a charge move, but there was no need, because that is GG's. So we're expecting him to switch into a Azumarill as the lead this time, because that's kind of the only thing he's got that can properly stand up to Mr. Mime and isn't as dangerous as bringing in Tyranitar. So that's what we're expecting. So we're switching into Venusaur lead, first time we're using it in the cup, and then Mr. Mime and Azumarill in the back. So let's see how we do. And we call it successfully. He does bring in Azumarill, so this is fantastic for us. We'll see if he decides to play it out or decides to switch out. And we get to this first Frenzy Plant. So the way it goes in the 2 shield scenario, basically we're just going to be trading Frenzy Plant, Ice Beam, Frenzy Plant, Ice Beam, and then we're going to be able to get to the 3rd charge move, the Frenzy Plant. His Ice Beam won't faint us either, but he switches out into Venomoth. We're a little slow on the switch there, but we bring in Mr. Mime. He's going to be able to beat down Venomoth. We will have to expend the shield here on the Poison Fang, because again, it would do a whole lot to us. And then just confusion, and down goes Venomoth. Again, we've got a charge move ready, and we have a fair amount of health too. He brings in Azumarill this time, and I'm not actually very good at the Psychic move, but that's like the first time I got excellent in this tournament, so you know, I was feeling pretty good about that. And these Confusions are doing an alright amount of damage. It looks like he's charging up some energy on us here, and he's getting off a charge move to finish us off. Just an Ice Beam, don't want to waste too much energy. And now we're going to bring in Venusaur, I believe, because we don't really want to get stuck against something. Oh no, we're bringing Azumarill. Okay, maybe because the Ice Beams would do a whole lot to us, and we don't have shields. So, and he was trying to hold on to that energy there, but we get this Ice Beam off, and he lets him go down instead of burning the shield. I was kind of hoping he burnt the shield to protect his energy, but he decides to let it go down, keep the shield, and bring in his Toxicroak. So we go for the Ice Beam here, hoping to burn the shield, which it does. Switch into Venusaur, trying to get to that Frenzy Plant, because we were just 1-2 Vine Whips off. But he goes for the Sludge Bomb too, which wrecks Venusaur. So, you know, not the best situation. It would have been ideal if he wasted the energy on Azumarill, then we could get in and do that Frenzy Plant. But yeah, because that would have done it for us. But he gets off another Sludge Bomb, and down goes Azumarill. So we're switching back into Mr. Mime as the lead, but bringing in Venusaur this time in the back. So Mr. Mime, Venusaur, Azumarill. So same trio that we used in that second game, no Toxicroak, and let's get into it. So again, we've caught the Mr. Mime Venomoth, so this is a fantastic lead matchup. We've got the lead all 3 of these games, which is fantastic. And then we're trying to switch out into Venusaur because we really want to get there and we don't want to give him an energy advantage, but we're really struggling with the Mr. Mime Confusions. So I definitely probably should have done a little bit more practice with that, because again, I wasn't very well practiced. I only powered him up the day before, and I only got him on my recent trip last month. And so we're going to be trading the Frenzy Plants and Ice Beams, and at this point I'm just really hoping that the energy advantage that he had isn't going to ruin this matchup for me. So I'm going to be able to get to another Frenzy Plant, which I'm assuming he's going to shield here so that he can get to another Ice Beam, which he does. And yeah, I'm just really worried. He's going to be able to get to another Ice Beam here. It shouldn't faint me, I don't think, but it does, which is... It's just really unfortunate. If I was a little quicker on the switch, then I think we would have won that matchup. But what can you do? We're bringing Mr. Mime, who does faint down the Azumarill, gets a little bit of energy charged up too. There's no more shield, so we'll see what he decides to bring in. And it is Venomoth, so Shadow Ball was the correct play. Unfortunately, it might have been better to charge up some energy on Venomoth, and then switched into Azumarill, which... okay, so I was trying to charge up some energy on Azumarill, just in case he had something in the back that I didn't really want Mr. Mime for. So just charging up energy, down he goes, and we'll see what he brings in the back, and it is Toxicroak, so going straight for the Play Rough. This will do some really nice damage to that Toxicroak. And then we're going to be going for the Ice Beam, even though we actually charged up to Play Rough at the same time, but yeah, the Ice Beam will do it for us. And that is GG's. And even if the Azumarill went down, we had Mr. Mime in the back to confusion away. And so yeah, on to round 3. And it's round 3, which is actually the 3rd and final round. We didn't get a massive amount of competitors for this tournament, unfortunately. End of the season, people just weren't around, unfortunately. But yeah, Lizard Forever, he brought in Venusaur, Venomoth, Tyranitar, Toxicroak, Azumarill, and Alolan Mark. So again, balanced team, as they tend to be nowadays. Mr. Mime's got favourable matchups up against Venusaur, Venomoth, Toxicroak. So, you know, half the team, and he's got two of those big leads too, Toxicroak and Venomoth. So we're going to be leading with Mr. Mime again, and then going back to the Toxicroak, Azumarill in the back, that balanced sort of pick. Toxicroak can deal with the Tyranitar and Alolan Mark that Mr. Mime can't. And then Azumarill, the safe switch, and yeah, let's get into that. So unfortunately he does bring in Alolan Mark, which we do not want to see as Mr. Mime. So we try to get out of there as quick as we can into Azumarill. and he's switching into his own Azumarill. So we do have the energy advantage here, so it's going to be a little bit of a game of shield baiting. We throw the Play Rough. We probably shouldn't shield at all, although unfortunately we do have it's not a good IV Azumarill. We only have 1435 CP, and that is maxed out. I powered it up for regionals, and I haven't powered up one since. So yeah, we were already in the yellow there. We missed a bubble, but that's alright. That's not going to be game changing, I don't think. Yeah, throw that Play Rough, and then he's doing another charge move, which I think we shield. Yeah, start to shield. Protect the Azumarill, try and win this matchup. And then going for the Ice Beam to try and burn the shield, which probably the wrong move because the Play Rough would have finished off Azumarill. He does decide to shield though, so actually that worked out. And then we have to decide here whether we want to shield or go down, and decide to save the shield, because a lot of the places where I've lost the rounds in this tournament have been because I don't have any shields left, and we are able to successfully under-tap the Ice Beam. We did get the Play Rough, which would have been a little better, but actually no, it doesn't really matter. And he brings in a long mark, so we're saving up energy on that Azumarill to try and feint us down, which didn't work, so that is good for us. We bring in Toxicroak, so we're in a great situation here. We've got a shield, so I think we do use that in case it is not an Acid Spray, but it is, that's alright. And we expected the immediate switch out, so we also switched out into Mr. Mime. He's going to be able to beat down Venomoth. Even taking this Poison Fang, it's not the worst situation in the world. So you'll see it does a lot of damage there, but we simultaneously KO. Maybe should have gone for the charge move. It wouldn't really matter because we're coming into Toxicroak, get the Mud Bomb off, and he shields, and we should be able to get to another Mud Bomb before he can feint us down. Even if this is not an Acid Spray, it shouldn't feint us. Dark Pulse. And yeah, absolutely 1 HP left, and we just clutch get that Mud Bomb and secure the game. You can see that that is the tiniest sliver of health I've ever seen. And so yeah, we're going to go in with the exact same trio. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It was though, maybe I should have recalculated a bit, but I'll let him do the adjustments. And he brings in Azumarill, so again, not a good lead for Mr. Mime. So we'll just play and see how we go. We charge up 1, 2 Confusion, 3 Confusion, and then we're trying to switch into Azumarill to catch the Ice Beam maybe. Doesn't matter if he's going Ice Beam or Play Rough, we're going to take it. And it is an Ice Beam, so that was good. It was how we wanted it to play out. And we're going to be going for the Play Roughs. I think maybe we go for an Ice Beam bait, charge some extra energy, and he switches into a Alolan Mark. So we go for the Play Rough here. I'm not sure. Maybe the Ice Beam would have been better to shield bait. I think we actually go for the Ice Beam here. And he's getting off a charge move, we're just going to let it come through, because if it's Acid Spray, it's not going to finish us off. And it doesn't really matter if we go down, because then we'll be able to bring in Toxicroak. So we send that Ice Beam, and he just lets it go through, and we're going to be trying to go for another Ice Beam, but he does finish us off, and unfortunately he's going to have an Acid Spray ready to get onto whatever we bring in, which is Toxicroak. So even though Toxicroak is just about to bring him down, he's going to get off this Acid Spray, and we shield up just in case it wasn't, because we don't want to just lose our Toxicroak for nothing. But yeah, we were Acid Sprayed, and then he's presumably going to bring Venomoth here, so we're not in a great spot. We get off this Mud Bomb just to try and give us some crunch time, and he decides to shield up. We switch into Mr. Mime, hoping to get off that charge move before he switched out, but not the case. Now we're shielding up the Ice Beam from Azumarill, getting off the Psy Beam. Again, really not good at the Psychic charge move. Does a nice little bit of damage, but hoping to finish him off, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. If we just that one little sliver of health gone, then we would have had Mr. Mime up against the Venomoth, and we would have been in such a good situation, but just unfortunately it just wasn't the case. And we do get off this Sludge Bomb, but it's not going to be enough to feint him down. So this is GG's, and so yeah, we're 1-1. We're going to go for a switch up. He's got our Mr. Mime lead down every time, so we switch into Azumarill lead. So we've got Azumarill, Mr. Mime, Toxicroak, and this is for the win. So let's get into that battle. And Azumarill, but he's got Azumarill versus Alolan Muck, and it's just not a good situation. Maybe I should have taken the risk and gone for the Toxicroak lead, risking that he's going to bring in Venomoth. I guess it would have been pretty easy to switch out into, say, a zoom rule, but he gets off the acid spray, and then we're going for the ice beam, trying to burn a shield. Or hoping to burn a shield, which it does do. And then we're going to be going for another ice beam, I believe. Yeah, we under-tapped there successfully, so that is good. I think he would have got a charge move off, maybe. Or no, maybe he's just charging up or wants to flank us down with quick moves. And now he's got energy ready to go. Unfortunately, he's going to be able to acid spray us down again. We bring in Toxicroak and we get off one quick move as he's getting off this charge move. And it wasn't acid spray, so we didn't shield it, which is correct, but yeah, it's not a great situation. Glad that he didn't get a second acid spray off, because we'd be in an even worse spot. Again, he brings in Venomoth, really got us hit. We're just going to let it go down. Should have gone for that Mud Bomb, but we're just going to bring in Mr. Mime, see what we can do. We've got 2 shields, so we can shield up this Poison Fang. And then we should be able to feint down Venomoth, but he switches out into a Zoom Rule, so really not a fantastic situation here. Yeah, we're up against the wall, even with a shield. This is not a good situation to be in whatsoever. So he throws the Ice Beam, which we shielded up. We're throwing the Psy Beam straight back. And again, not great with the charge move. Throw the Psy Shock, which he shields. So again, maybe should have gone for Shadow Ball for the lower energy cost. And he's obviously going to shield because he's got nothing to lose. And then we throw the Shadow Ball now. Just as, oh, this will go quicker. But yeah, he gets off a charge move as we're getting off that Shadow Ball. And that is GG's again. So Lizard Forever takes the competition. So yeah, congratulations to Lizard Forever for taking the competition. This was actually his last tournament, not playing Pokemon Go anymore, so glad to have sent you off with a win, and happy travels, I guess. We'll always be around if you want to come back. And so yeah, that was my Twilight tournament, and especially with my use of Mr. Mime, I did enjoy Mr. Mime. He could use some more practice, so you need to kind of know your stuff when you're using Mr. Mime, but I really did enjoy using him. I had a lot of fun, so thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, especially that subscribe one, and I'll see you in the next one.